Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk Thinking, right? Out here in the lab. And yeah, I'm in the book. I'm about to do a conclusion on the philosophies and mythologies of different cultures. I'm about to do the conclusion, but I'm going to get three more in before I conclude. So let's go. Right, this is 25 Rules to Live By. Storytelling story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tuning in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission at all, right thinkers, know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? So let's get there together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. Right thinkers, P-Funk philosophy is going to be about conclusion to all the different philosophies and mythologies of different cultures. I'm going to hit you up with three more right quick. The Zulu, the Dogon, and the Yoruba. We all had cultural differences, but they were all based on the same philosophy, what? Getting to God and knowing thyself. So the Zulu culture, again, currently live in the southern part uh, in, of the continent, now referred to as Africa, but stories of their origins have survived in their mythology. Again, they had theirs. One Zulu tradition claims that they originated in the stars and they arrived on Earth after living on planet Mars. Again, theologically, and you can conceive, you can make up whatever you want. I ain't saying it's made up, but this is their tradition. I don't argue that. I just present it. The move to Earth was needed. Why? Because there was a war on Mars, which left the planet uninhabitable. That's a stretch, but moving on. I'm not here to debate and critique. That's not what I'm doing. I can break that a whole bunch of ways, but I ain't got time. That's what I'm doing. I'm just giving you philosophy from different cultures, which they had. And recent evidence, Scooby-Doo, recent evidence have found by American Viking space program that corroborates this claim. My man said, shut the front door. And the evidence indicates possible. Now, if you got evidence, it shouldn't be possible. It should be is or it's not. It's possible that kinship ties between the Zulu and the Ethiopian Egyptians. Okay, that ain't on Mars. That's here. I get that. But in the late 1970s, this Viking probe spaceship again, which was sent to what? Photograph Mars, revealed a complex of pyramids and a giant sphinx face, which stares out into space. They've been playing this mind game for the last 50 years. I'm not buying it. Moving on. It's just another concept. So then you got the Dogons. They got their mythology, their philosophy. The Dogon culture, who now resides in the Western Africa, adhere to a cosmogony and a mythology which closely follows the Egyptian and Cometian philosophy system, mystery system. As with the ancient Cometians, The Dogons revere the star Sirius, okay, constellation of the star, as the origin of humanity and the role of Haru. Love that. Now, Haru, which is the original savior, which I call the spirit that's in me and you, that's what the Christians say Christ is. That's where it comes from. Okay, I don't got a problem with that. Y'all can use them all. If it's working for you, have at it. But the savior is given to the God named, they got named Nomo. They got Alma and Nomo, and they have a detailed description of the cosmogony. They have a mythology, which will be found in what the book they call. Oh, this is a hell of a book, The Pale Fox. Good Google Muggers. That takes me back. If you're on that trail of enlightenment, there's certain things you had to, certain books you had to acquire, certain information you had to acquire, and The Pale Fox was one of them. I remember it now. But that's Marcel Gruol and Germain Dieterlin, who they both studied with the Dogon masters for over 15 years. Okay, but in 15 years, don't tell me you got their tradition down pat. No. I've been studying for 30 years and I'm still learning. So I don't buy into that, but they studied for 15 years, so now that makes them authority on the Dogon religion. The Dogon, you should be getting it from them. Damn, the 15-year people came to study. Sorry, that annoys me. Like the Zulu, the Dogon also acknowledge their ancient origins from the northern eastern Africa. That's the upper part. That's us. That's Egypt. That's up there at the top. Yeah. The Yoruba people. This is the third tribe, and all these are different places, but they have philosophies that pretty much are the same, like I've been trying to tell you since the beginning. They all tell you the same thing. My man Manly P. Hall did that. I got to get his book, but he got the age of all knowledges. And they all point to the same direction, like I'm telling you. Excuse me. I was a master mason before I got my second degree. Why? When I got initiated in the first degree, I went to my buddy. He gave me the book. I read that book all weekend. And by Monday morning, I was a master mason in what? Knowledge. Manly P. Hall did the same damn thing. They gave him 33 degrees. Why? Because he understood their philosophy better than them. Excuse me, but I had to get that in. I'm still adamant about that. Well, I'm a self-made man. Well, I did my damn homework like I'm doing now. Excuse me. That's why. So again, the Yoruba people from Western Africa, the Yoruba religion, again, has many similarities with the cosmogony, the god and divination system of Egypt. Again, for example, one Yoruba creation story is almost identical, like the Christian story with Christ, to the Egyptian one, which is described on the Shabaka stone. Page 47, that's back there. I gave that lesson already with Ptah, the self-created God. Ptah, Amon-Ra, Ptah. I got that lesson coming up for you. 3 different gods in one. All right. But later referred to as Memphite, again, theology, which is the god with Ptah, Sekhmet, and Nefertim, the royal family. It describes the beginning of being watery, marshy place. What I call it? The abyss. We call it the noon. We know it's water. What do you want to call it? It was water. Why? 75% of this damn thing is liquid. So we all had a marshy place start. So in the Supreme Being created what? The great God whom he directed to create the world. But this is the Yoruba. Okay, remember, this is different people's concepts in mythology about creation. We all have a creation story. I keep telling you that. And watch this. And as in the judgment of the Egyptian book of coming forth by day, the idea of a judgment after death started in Kemet. Heaven, hell started with us. Simple as that. Nuke, heaven, Geb, earth, hell. Okay, simple as that. The physical foundation is hell. Heaven is up there, all spiritual, all mental. The first law, Hermetic principle, all is mind. And also, it's held by the Yorubas that what? It was believed to them that after death, your spirit, which cannot die, we know that, and we keep understanding that's the God that's in you, the spirit, the soul. It don't die when the physical body dies. The conscious of the physical body, which is our individual, if it don't connect with the spirit, you don't make it. Why? They got to become one. I keep telling you, heart, mind, coherence. That's why. That's where I got the concept from. I've been studying this for a long time. That's just a concept I come up with. But the Yoruba believe that the God, that those who goes in front of God at Judgment Day, in order, we got this judgment seat. I just did it for you. A sausage, you stand there, your heart get ready to scare about yeah, all that. We know about all that. We started that. So everybody who takes from it, fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But again, it gives order. You have to give an account of what your life. The fact of the matter is, they take the heart. Why? It restores everything that went on in your life from birth to death. So they don't need to hear your story. You ain't got to say a word. Give me the heart back. That's what they did. A heart light as my feather was a good life lived. Simple as that. You are the creator of the good life. Your choice, good or bad. He made his, I made mine. We did what we did. I'm still doing what I can do. Why? I'm correcting that mistake. That was not good. I got a chance to correct it. Moving on. And that's what life is about. If you get a chance, take it. And as in Egypt, the Yorubas also believe that some will go to live with relatives in a good place, aka heaven, the hereafter. But if you gonna make it to the hereafter, you need to be conscious of who you are. Ignorant people don't go to the hereafter. They suffer and wallow right here in hell. Again, understand the concept. While others will end up wallowing around the bad place that we call hell. Moving on. I want to get that out the way. Everybody had a philosophy and mythology, a creation story set forth for their culture to follow. I've been giving you all the lessons. That's my point, to show you whatever you choose to do. If it works for you, that's the right choice. If what you choose to do don't benefit you, that's the wrong choice. Choose something else. That's what freedom choice is all about. These people, you may want to follow their philosophy. I ain't got a problem with that. You may want to follow Islamic philosophy. I ain't got a problem with that. Christian, I ain't got a good God hoop about nobody. What you're doing as a teacher, I'm just giving you my philosophy. I do have one. Moving on. As a spiritual philosopher, I have concepts and views about what it is I do that I teach to you. Moving on. They said all of these things, all things that we do on earth, we will have to give account for in heaven. I don't agree with that. Why? In order to make it to heaven, you will have to pass the test of earth. So all that, no, it don't happen in heaven. No, that happens at judgment. And if you fail, you stay here. Only those who pass the judgment, who have lived a righteous and fruitful life in the human experience, will go to the next level when this physical body runs out. If not, you get a new outfit, a new dress, like clothes. The spirit wears humans like clothes. How about that? Depending on the outfit you wear, you got to wear it for until what? That spirit run out, you can change, get more clothes. Simple. If it get enlightened, it go home. Don't need no more clothes. No, I'm out. So we will state our case at the foot of God conceptually, and that's the whole part about the judgment. They just trying to break it down, saying the same thing a little different. We've been doing that the whole time. Everybody's philosophy is doing the same thing to get you to the same place. How about that? I told you that with religion. My pastor, he's a saint, I'm a sage. He got through by the Bible. I got through by Egyptian philosophy. We got there. So it's more than one way. I told you that all the time. Now, okay, I got one more. Thought I was done. The Fawn Nation, they out of West Africa. They're one of the oldest. And their philosophy is that the snake is the creator and the sustainer of creation. How about that? Okay, watch this. Now, through a 3,500 coils, the serpent Apophis, we said, stretched around the earth 3.5 times. That's how big he was, okay, conceptually. I just read the Ragnarok with the guy that killed Thor, Jotun, or whatever he was. He was wrapped around the earth. It's all a serpent that wraps around the earth. There's always a serpent wrapped around something 3.5 times. The Kundalini serpent that's inside us, the Maya, they call it the net. It got 3.5 quarters, 3.5 times. So all this 3.5 got something to do with everybody playing their 3.5 game. How about that? And it's above the earth. And 3,500 coils below the earth. Okay. Negative 7. The snake represents energy in perpetual motion. Energy without which creation would what? Immediately disintegrate. They saying the serpent, the snake, is the creator. That's their philosophy. You can't knock it just because you don't agree with it or understand it or philosophically, get to it. But They had theirs. And the description recalls what we call a primeval serpent. We got one in Egypt called Apophis. He's the enemy of Ra, which is light, darkness. Okay. But the primeval serpent, and everything is philosophically, esoterically to teach a concept. This is their concept. So now, in the serpent in ancient Egypt mythology, and even in the Kundalini, India, we talk about the serpent. Nagas, okay. With her coiled up, now it's a her. The serpent just became a her. You see that? With her coiled up cosmic energy, which sustains all life, another fond story tells that a serpent carried God everywhere. Where? In his mouth. Not on his back, in his mouth. And in the making of creation. That's their concept of Atum. Okay, Atum is the worker for God. But this is reminiscent of the Egyptian story of the serpent in the sky, where God says, take me away. Ra said, listen, they pissing me off. I'm going up to heaven, and only those who do what they need to do here will come to see me. And the serpent in the rainbow shows him riding up into heaven on the back of a serpent. It was supposed to be a cow. When the cow jumped over the moon, that's Hathor. Okay. But it's also the main character in the Fawn mythology. Again, this is their concept. Legba. I love that guy. He's the entity between what? Heaven and earth. He's the go-between. That's me. I'm getting one hand with God and one hand to man. Legba makes deals. Okay, that's his job. You want to get to God? This is the deal. So, but he make him bad. No, he's the deal maker. Well, I don't see him as bad. But Legba, you seek to reconcile the rift where between heaven and earth. He's the go-between. My pastor called me a spiritual philosopher because I got one understanding with God and the other with man. I'm trying to connect the two. I'm the middleman. I ain't got a problem with that. Y'all call it the Christ. I ain't put myself like Jesus, but the concept, I get it. Yeah, I'm a sage. I'm a master of myself. I can help others master themselves. Let's go. So again, he is the go-between between heaven and earth, which occurred in primeval times. But these stories, again, mythological stories to teach lessons about life, resemble those of, you ready, Haru, who traveled, the land teaching and enlightening people. Just like his dad. Like father, like son. Mostly, if your father doing it, you're going to do it until you decide what, that might not be for me. Okay? Hustling was not for me. When I was doing it, yeah, but when I realized the consequences I had to pay for it, and not for me. That's a decision I can make for myself. And we parted ways on that premise. Why? He was keep doing it. I wasn't. Moving on, sorry. But again, now throughout Africa, the snake with the two heads in the form of a circle, or a serpent in the form of a circle swallowing his own tail, the Ouroboros. Okay, that's it. So recycling life. It eats itself, creates itself. Eats itself, creates itself. Okay. But that serpent eternal, that represents eternity. Life continuity, constant, rejuvenating, etc. Resurrections. It should be noted that one of the goals of the Kundalini, aka yoga, is to develop what we call the life force energy. In Star Wars, Yoda was teaching Luke how to use the force and of the serpent, and to tie up the serpent energy into a circuit within energy that does not escape, meaning yourself, thereby accumulating it, resulting in the rejuvenation of your body and raised consciousness. You become a better person in light of being what? Ignorant. Lower self, higher self. Egypt is you, body. Your upper and lower self have to what? Come together, unite to tie down what? Breathing, the breath from. That's why the two lungs is recognized by Haru and Set. They got to work together what? To breathe, to exist. You got to coexist. Good and evil got to be together. They can't separate. Yin and yang can't separate. Get the concept? Ooh, I like that. Oh, Lord. I done went to the old lesson. I ain't got to the conclusion. I'm going for it. Let's go. Now the conclusion. For all the information I gave you, all the knowledge I gave you about everybody did philosophy, this is the conclusion, the breakdown. When you're comparing all the ancient mythologies and philosophies, which I've done, it is necessary to approach them with an open mind. I didn't attack, disrespect nobody's philosophy. I just broke it down where they wrote it and gave my interjection here and there. That's it. I didn't change nothing. We didn't do nothing. I ain't trying to brainwash you or converse you into nothing nonsense. I just give you information. So, and the idea that no matter how discordant, how I disagree, how crazy I may think it be, or how flamboyant and off the hook it may appear to me, but there is always a basis of truth which underlies all mythologies and philosophy in all cultures. So you can't call them liars. They just stretching the truth a little bit, and putting 20 on 10, so to speak. But it's for a purpose. Some people say it's okay to lie if it's for a purpose. It ain't never okay to lie. When you start getting that concept, that means the truth has no validity. If it's okay to lie, why tell the truth? Why hold accountable to have the truth? To avoid lying, the truth is there. So that's what I do. And what's this? In my studies of all religions and the philosophy that I've been doing for the last 30 years, it is necessary to discount all the local emotional variations of the mythological stories in order to view them in the commonality in which all the things are. Everybody wants to get you to God. That's why I respect religion. Those the way they practice it, I don't. But the religion itself is to get you, link you back to the source, God. Whatever vernacular they use, whatever word they use to describe God, it's all the same thing. The work that had to be done for it to happen is the same. How about that? Okay? If you're Muslim, you still got to do the will of God. If you're a Christian, you still got to be Christ-like. See where we're going? Jews got to see. So everybody got something they follow. If that's what you're part of, be that. I'm a right thinker. I'm 100% right thinker. Why? I'm dedicated, devoted to what I believe. Simple. It's a belief that I got to follow and manifest for myself. Now it's a reality. Christians, y'all believe become reality. That's what it's all about. Through Christ who strengthened me, I can do all things. If you can conceive it, it's all mental. It's all mind. So if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. Let's go. And likewise, when analyzing others' writings, and writings by those who claim to have had what we know as the mystical experience, that's you're coming enlightened. You becoming one with your higher self. The heart and mind became one. Now you are what? With God. Consciously, you know that in spirit you are. You just ain't conscious of it. Why? Every individual have to make that choice for themselves. That's the difference. That's what's called the mystical experience. It's mystical to those who don't know. For every individual, it's personal. And it is necessary to discount all the inconsistencies and the aberrations which may be due to what? Their particular mental state being unenlightened but awed by the situation at that time. So once a local and a regional variations of the mythological stories and the hallucinatory or delusionary descriptions of mystical experience, once you strip them away, that's all the BS. Once you strip it away from the concept of religious and philosophical traditions, get to the bare facts. When you do that now, watch this. I'm going. It don't make a difference at that time right now. It is possible to gain true insight into what the underlying unity of what religious goals are for, that wherein the major themes have survived over the years and the centuries to the present day. This is a philosophical concept that has been around since the beginning. In every religious group, every philosophical, mythological group abides by these tenets. That's right. I'm about to take it home. Number one, the human being is more than what meets the eye. Yeah, we know that. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And beyond the body, which is spirit, there is an eternal soul or spirit which aspires to what? Achieve greater heights than the ordinary life suggests. Ignorant people just go along to get along. Do what they need to do, it's okay. But your soul wants to go what? Back home. It aspires to go back to its maker. Calm down. I just came with this idea. I'm going to get out what I got it in my mind right now. The soul aches to go home. It wants to go home. It don't like this, but it got caught up in the human experience and forgot who it was. So it don't know nothing else. If you have options in life, That's when you can do better. If there's no options, you are stuck. You was a slave. Okay, that's what slavery means. No options. Okay, to do better or be better. It's just one thing. That's never good. Moving on. So your spirit, your soul aspires to achieve greater heights than just ordinary. That's what the sages of ancient times knew. He had something better to offer. What? Eternity, immortality. Human existence is temporary. We think it's forever. That's the only thing. My man told me this was his philosophy. You only get one shot at life. Give it your best shot. And I understood that philosophy, but he was speaking philosophically, but he didn't practice on the thing that he taught. Why? He thought life was one night. I know better than that now. He just didn't. Why? He thought only get one shot, which is philosophically true. Why? Because the spirit come back, your conscious mode. Once that dies, once you die physically in the conscious, if it's not enlightened, you don't exist no more. That's why. And that's the philosophical concept that I learned over the years. Your soul, number 2, okay, it's 8 of them. Let me get to it right quick. Your soul is immortal. Why is that? It's of God. That's the spirit. That's given to you at birth. You are God. You're born into a human experience that you got to find out who you are before what? The physical body runs out. You die. If not, the conscious dies with the body and the spirit. Go get another body, change clothes. Okay, put new outfit on and see what I do. There is one divinity. Number 3. There is one divinity. Everybody say the same thing, which expresses itself in many ways. Your soul seeks closeness with what? With that divinity to have its mystical experience, becoming one with itself again, reuniting, reuniting with its true self. That's a concept of philosophy that makes all the sense in the world. Philosophically, and you can look at it any way you want. It still works out. So whatever you practice, how you practice it, it still comes down to having what? That mystical experience for yourself. That's the God experience. I can't give you that. Number 4, this mystical experience, this is the key. The mystical experience is you becoming conscious of who you are, you knowing you and God are one and the same. But the mystical experience requires you, the seeker, the individual, to have to cultivate a certain state of mind, becoming conscious, learning, studying what? The Maya philosophy, which is set forth at that time by them, that leads to you being aware of what and which lies beyond the realm of ordinary senses. We already know it's mental. So when we go to sleep, we go into the astral plane. When you learn to function in the astral plane, everything is instantaneous, not like the physical plane. And after that, it's called the casual. That's where everything lies. When you go to sleep and have a good sleep, that's where you went. We get glimpses of it to let you know it's a place. Why? In your own mind, you got to recognize that I can't tell you it's a place that's called heaven and hell. You need to know that for yourself. Learn the same thing I learned. I learned it. I didn't come up with it. I didn't make it up. Number 5. Again, we back to this mystical experience. It requires you, again, the seeker, to be able to develop a lifestyle. What you mean? A lifestyle that's based on righteousness and virtue, along with both mental and physical health. Mind, body, and soul. You got to work it in unison. They all got to be in harmony. That's the lining up the chakras, what they want to get, serpent power, living right, doing right, treating people right. Automatically, something will happen inside of you. So you ain't got to be knowledgeable. If you live in it, you ain't got to know it. My mother-in-law lived my whole life, didn't have a clue who the hell she was. She said, I've been doing that. Yeah, I know. And sometimes it's better, what? Not to know. That's all she knew. Everybody else was doing stuff. She didn't find joy in doing the stuff wrong. She never felt good. She never cussed nobody out. You can't get no holier than that. You can't get no more sanctified than that. Who haven't cussed nobody out? Who haven't been put in a position where they just let it all hang out because, wow, you haven't had enough, whatever it was. And she said she never done that. Much respect. That's the mystical experience that you can live with, that you can manifest. Can't nobody take it away from you. You can't do nothing but what? Share the experience with other people who are like-minded. Other than that, it's a waste of your time. That's what we talk about regular. All right. But this mystical experience we're talking about, it leads to what we call expanded state of consciousness and awareness of what we know to be reality. The ego don't have a clue. Okay, if you're ran by the ego, you're not intellectual, you're not rational, you're not a right thinker, you are egotistical. ignorant of all these things. Number 7, mystical experience is a necessary part of existence and the evolution of one's soul to know thyself. It's done by studying, by practicing what you learn. Those are things, okay? When the soul is deprived of mystical aspirations, what that mean? Through its own ignorance. It don't aspire to do better. It don't want nothing. It's just comfortable being ignorant. Those kind of people, you leave them alone. Mental activity, meaning thinking, right? Which is the primary method of expressions of one's soul, may become unstable. Why? Because mental illness, ignorance, other mental aberrations may result in depression, wars, crimes, etc. Ignorant people will do ignorant bad things. Almost there. I see the clock. I gotta go. The sage, I did this for purpose, wrapping it up. The sage is one who realizes what? That the coming world age necessitates what? The dissemination of our ancient mystical wisdom. They tried to stop the knowledge that we have for thousands of years. They did in 600 ACE. Before then, everybody had access to the knowledge that I'm giving you right now. They shut it down in 600 ACE. I went back and opened it up and I'm printing it to you now. And from which the masses of people could more easily have access to find and understand the teachings. They're making it hard to get knowledge. What the hell? Thus, the hieroglyphic writings, the oral tradition, the teachings kept in the memory of the sage, and they gave it to the initiates to keep it going. And they gave away to writing. They gave way to writing, to written versions where ancient times, we didn't write nothing down. You kept it to memory. You passed it by word of mouth. So there was no paper trail. Okay, but the teachings we had to write down and keep them hidden from the people who don't deserve the information. But hell, anybody can go get this book. It's my Masonic Bible. Okay, I tell you, you're gonna be amazing. This information you need to know. I keep that on my desk. Every now and then I have to go into to get information that I can use. Simple. I still use it as a tool, teaching lesson. You teaching masonry? Yeah. The philosophical concept? Yep. Okay. But at the same teachers, they write it down, put it in books where you can go get it. Anybody can get it now. When I was coming up, you couldn't get that information just anywhere. Okay. It was sacred. It was holy. All right. But those written versions constituted what? The intellectual expressions of trying to get the mystical wisdom, which already had existed in both oral history and was carried on by the Egyptian sages and initiates and the rituals, for initiates and the rituals. And also in Egypt, the hieroglyphic form was the original teachings from we call God lessons. Madrunetta, writings of God. Wrapping it up. So the development in Egypt has what the language they spoke in Egypt, it was called heretic. Okay, the heretic writings in Egypt first, the cuneiform out of Sumerian in the Middle East. They thought that was the original writing because they had everything labeled out. No, we beat them. Why? The Sumerians invented the wheel. If we followed their philosophy, we would use the wheel for transportation. We didn't. We used the circle to invent, but we didn't use that transportation purpose. So we had to have our knowledge before them. They got the cuneiform, they made the little things, little clay dots, and put little signs in it. Okay, but then you got in Middle East, then you got the Sanskrit in India. So everybody had forms of communication. Again, we're among the first in a series of new writings system, which espoused the same philosophy that had existed in Kemet for many thousands of years. We called it Maya, Shita Netta, Smatawi. But we had schools of mystical philosophy. Watch this. How the hell could we have schools of mystical philosophy and y'all claim that the Greeks invented philosophy? I was under the impression that they did. Watch this. So if the schools of mystical philosophy grew up around such names as Socrates, Pythagoras, and Plato, they all went to Egypt. All of them. In Europe, you had the guy called Zoroaster, a philosophy called Zoroastrianism. And in Persia, they got Moses and Jesus in the Middle East. And furthermore, you got Buddha and Patanjali in India. And in China, you got Lao Tzu. So everybody got writings. Everybody put it down and writing to teach the next generations. But the writings of the Greeks, calm down. The Greeks acknowledged, no, they didn't. We had to bust them down. The fact that they studied, they had to tell the truth. Where'd you get the knowledge from? They got their mystical philosophy from Egypt. Right there. From the current analysis, Kemet, aka Egypt, philosophy appears to form the basis for your Christian philosophy, the Hinduism, the Vedas, the Sufism, the Buddhism, Taoism, Judaism, and the Kabbalah. The similarities of the tenets of all other religious systems suggest a common origin. I know that for a fact. They are all but aspects and fragments of the same philosophy that we know to be oneness. Out of Kemet. Everything is from the one. Everybody knew it. Everybody took a piece of it, made it there. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. A little bit long, but I got my point across. Hopefully, it will serve for somebody to know that information and use it for the benefit of themselves. I got to go right now. Thinkers, right thinkers. May you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I'll never know my right thinkers who now know about the conclusion, but philosophy, mythologies have passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got more for you. Tune in.